Hey guys, this is the Lucifer After Show here at AFTERBUZZ TV. We're talking about the finale, Take Me Back to Hell! Tune in!
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin!
Little boy, you're going to hell! You said my words were rushing the buzz, and now this is your tale!
All right.
The thing is,
We need to turn that down a bit. All right, guys.
Perfect. That was right on.
That was right on. Little boy, you're going to hell, guys. We're talking Lucifer. We're talking about season 1, episode 13, entitled "Take Me Back to Hell."
Yes.
This is a pretty crazy episode. Great way to end the season. I'm glad they leave us with a little bit of a cliffhanger, but we do get some story development and things that get closed off and like complete themselves. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Stephen Lemieux. Tweet along as you watch this show live, or even if you're not watching the show live, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me and tweet at me. Also tweet at my amazing co-hosts. I've got the lovely Samantha Benitz here.
Indeed, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Samantha_Benitz, Benitz.
And
we got the amazing Lacretia Lyon.
Yes, and if you can spell it right, it's Lacretialyon. I know Steven can spell it, so you guys can too, right?
Literacy. And Mr. Dave Child.
I'm Dave Child. It's real easy. Just MR Dave Child.
The MR is silent when saying your name normally. Usually it's just Dave. I don't go.
The Mister is implied.
I don't go Murdave.
Yeah.
Murdave.
MR.
I gotta say, I'm actually really excited that there's a show like Preacher that's coming on now soon. So like now that Lucifer, I can like intertween them. But
intertween them.
Intertween them well. I'm going to intertween them well.
I need some good intertweening.
So it was almost like my Supernatural.
Supernatural.
So this episode wraps up a lot of stuff. We get a great new place for the relationship between Chloe and Dan.
Yeah.
Right.
We get a great new place between Lucifer and Chloe. We get a great new place for Malcolm, hell. And we get a good little bit more of a relationship building between Lucifer and Amenadiel. So let's go ahead and first just pick up where we left off at the end of last episode with the big cliffhanger of dead preacher on the ground, Lucifer with a gun to his face by Chloe, and they're going to arrest him. What do you think of this scene where Lucifer just kind of loses his temper for the first time in a while, where he's just like, all right, it's just gotta be Satan. Oh, dead body on the ground, gotta be me, right? You know, just why not just throw one more body onto the proverbial guilty list for Satan?
It was refreshing. I was like, yes, tell me why you're angry, because this whole season he's been super like calm and collected, so it's kind of refreshing to see him lose his cool.
Yeah, I like
I'm sorry. Well, he just has his moments where it's like where he's always, you know, acts as the angry little boy, and this was like the episode for it, to be the like angry son and just, or like the son that's neglected. So a lot of daddy issues were worked out in this episode. So that was part of it.
Lots of daddy issues. Sorry. Go ahead, Lucretia.
Major daddy issues, but that's what makes Lucifer hot, right? The angry daddy issues, because we're all into that.
That's his appeal for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to wonder if Lucifer had the prescription like everyone who comes to LA has, because he'd been so calm, so chill. So it was good to know that he's not a pot-smoking hippie. He gets angry.
No doobie.
Right.
Well, he does work in a nightclub, so daddy issues are kind of a...
Yeah, you wouldn't work in a nightclub.
A stereotypical thing for a nightclub.
He also moved to LA, so I feel like that's a big daddy issue thing too.
I know, guys. Me and my dad just moved here, and I don't know.
This is not the place for it.
I'm gonna be an actor. I'm gonna be a great actor, Dave.
Yeah, you're gonna
just
be
you
great.
watch.
We're all
just
gonna be
you
proud
watch.
of you. Okay.
I'll book 8 things. In the next 10 years.
Those 8 things are gonna be great.
Hey, I already got a Jack in the Box commercial, so
good.
One down and 7 to go. Okay, so
way to plug your Jack in the Box commercial. In the middle of the episode. Every single time, bringing up that Jack in the Box
you gotta
commercial.
just, that's my book. Your book is post-coitus sexy swordplay.
Yes.
Mine is Jack in the Box commercials.
Mine, I think, will sell better.
Mine's a prequel. Okay, so at least
right.
That's
Okay.
a more enticing title.
Unless yours comes with some Jack in the Box food.
Yeah.
Mine comes with swords. Post-coital swords.
All right, so getting a little off topic. So my whole baffling moment at this is, as much as this show accomplishes a lot, after they've seen Lucifer just disappear into thin air in front of them, they're still just playing with this idea that he's not really the devil.
Yeah, it has a lot of denial.
Yeah,
of
come
denial.
on.
If
His
I was-
name is Lucifer Morningstar. You've seen all of this.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
If I was doing a show here and suddenly Dave was not in front of me anymore, I wouldn't be like, let's go find Dave. I'd be like, holy crap!
Yeah, and you'll know I'm the devil.
You know, if you were
which is
leading
why I
up
never
to
do
this,
that.
Yeah. Like if you were telling us for the past 10 weeks that you were in fact Satan, Lucifer himself,
Yes.
and then you disappeared right in front of my eyes, I'd kind of like kind of start to believe and freak out a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as I mentioned before, most people here in LA have a prescription for something that might mess with their judgment. And,
True.
You know,
Right.
so I'm like, that might be why they're like, oh, people disappear all the time.
We also just might accept the fact that
Yeah.
Dave Child is Chris Angel in disguise and just
Exactly.
write it off that way.
Whole time. It's stuck.
The face is
Yeah.
real. The face is real.
I just have to
So
blame my way
Yeah.
through this.
obviously, when he disappears mid about to be shot, their first reaction is, "All right, guys, he couldn't have gotten far."
Oh, yeah. Where's the trap door?
So they're like,
I would think maybe it's the gun. Maybe it's like a bullet that was like, what type of bullets was I using? Just make someone disappear.
I know. He's
Yeah.
shooting, what are they called? The Weeping Angel bullets.
Sure.
Hey, Doctor Who reference.
Yeah.
So,
Man,
Lucifer,
make a bullet out of a weeping angel. I don't want to do that.
to set up the character arc for Lucifer and Chloe this episode is basically Lucifer thinks that Chloe believes he murdered the preacher, when really Chloe's just freaked out because there's a dead body spilling blood next to her with a bullet hole in his head, and it's a preacher, and Lucifer is angry, and there's all this stuff going on, so she's freaked out. When really she's still on his side, as we all know as the viewer, but Lucifer's kind of fed up, so he's been dealing with lots of cops being kind of dicks to him.
Right.
So, as soon as they get evidence over there, and of course we have to find out a way to get one of Mazikeen's daggers into the hands of Malcolm.
Of course.
The evidence guy manages to slice his finger on a hand. Whoops, butterfingers! And Malcolm's like, I'm gonna go ahead and take that off your hands for you. I'll take this into evidence.
And it's interesting they trust him
Twirled
because
his
it's like
mustache.
he's been through some tumultuous stuff. So yeah, you're gonna let him back in the precinct, but you're gonna give him full rights again. Like I don't know,
Right.
it's a little fishy.
Well,
to
he's
me.
a hero, right?
Yeah, his name was
everyone
Nonetheless,
else.
he's not. He hasn't been tarnished or anything like that, or his reputation or anything along those lines. But still, the fact that he's gone through those type of things, are you going to give him full leeway as soon as he walks back in?
Well,
don't
yeah,
know.
I mean, I feel like with the timeline, he got back to normal pretty quick, went through his physical, and was back on the force. Because
Right.
there's nothing that tarnished his name.
Right. I get
So he had the full privileges he had before. It's not like anything changed.
Yeah, the only one who kind of doubted the name was Chloe, and everyone was just like, "Chloe's stupid."
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's a
she's
hero.
girl.
He's
Yeah,
a girl.
yeah.
Which
She doesn't know
I'm glad
anything.
she finally got proved to not be so crazy.
Yeah.
So he takes the knife, and then Dan shows up and is like, "It's okay, Chloe. It's gonna be fine." And she's like, I know Lucifer didn't do it. We gotta prove it." And Dan's like, "Yeah, well, how are we gonna prove it?" And then the guy's like, "Hey, I got this gun here that was we're gonna run prints on." And Dan's like, "Damn it, Chloe."
Yeah,
let's just
about that
talk.
story.
Let's just have a little side by side real quick here, because obviously we're thinking, of course, Lucifer's fingerprints are on it because he took the gun from freaking Malcolm.
Right.
Right.
So we get Dan talking to Chloe. Like the next scene, Chloe's obviously pissed off at him. I'm glad they didn't like create this whole scene and do all the dialogue of like Dan explaining stuff. It's like we're the viewer. We already know exactly what
Right,
he
we
was
know the
going to
full
tell her.
Mm-hmm.
But that punch, though, right? That was a solid, like, across the face. I'm like, okay, Chloe. She went in.
She punched.
Yeah, she did a
Oh,
full
she
punch. It
punches.
was not a
Yeah.
slap.
Dan's into that.
She put her hand into a fist and threw it out with velocity towards
Yeah.
him.
And it hit a face.
It hit a
And
face.
boy, was that a punch.
Detective Douche became Detective Bruise Douche.
Bruised douche.
Bruise Douche.
Punched in the face.
Punched in the face.
Douche punched in the face.
Douche punched in the face. So he tells her, and she is obviously not happy. Obviously, but they decide, all right, well, we need to find Lucifer,
Yeah.
and we need to find Malcolm. So what do we do first? So he's going to go find out to pick up leads on Malcolm. She's going to go look for Lucifer, but she's also looking for Malcolm. I don't know. It was all like, just like, let's figure out. So Lucifer goes, meanwhile, Lucifer's like, I'm going to go ahead and yell at my brother who just saved me. Used his little temporal time thing to pull me out into the rain this is a Versace suit. Like, come on, it's dry clean only. I can't get it wet. But fine, thanks, Amenadiel, whatever. When Lucifer honestly just planned on going back to hell, he was like, I want to go out. I want to go out and fun. Like, my last words are pretty cool, right? Like, I'm going to take everyone's sins. Like, going out a little bit like Jesus. Just pile it on.
Going out a little like Jesus.
Sorry, I
want to go out a little like Jesus.
Hashtag going out like Jesus. And
For 5 pieces of silver.
Like, what?
come on, we're at episode 13. I feel like Million Moms Club isn't watching anymore. Okay, so
I'm sorry.
just so you know, Sam is the only one who, after all the credits, does not say Hail Satan instead.
That's right. Correction.
She's the only one who has not given into the
only
peer
one
pressure.
going to heaven on this hill.
Hey, we just want to visit Tom Ellis in hell.
Yeah.
That's a good point. We saw it today, finally, actually.
We're already in LA, so
Close enough.
Yeah. Could just go down to Lux at any point.
Yeah,
I know.
it's like
Play
right
on that
down the street
piano.
from my house. Like,
Just lay down on that piano, sing a song.
it almost looks like the same place they filmed Hell's Kitchen. Anyway, so
That's next season actually.
Lucifer-
It's combines
Gordon
Hell's
Ramsay
Kitchen
comes in next season.
with
Actually,
Lucifer.
and Amenadiel think, okay, well, how are we going to figure this out? So let's go ahead and head up to Amenadiel's psychiatric office because
Come on up.
there's no better place to meet and discuss issues than his psychiatric office.
And lay on the little couch, get the whole environment going.
So Dr. Linda decides to make an appearance. I love the little candle thing where it's like, is this whose phone is by them? What was the candle flavor?
I didn't catch that.
I don't
I
know.
get it.
Lucifer walks in and is like, why is this smell like, oh, you have scented candles? And Man's like, I like the smell. Okay? I like the smell.
He's experiencing what it's like to be immortal. It's just candle, sex. They all come together.
I come to LA,
didn't matter.
I bring a guy back from the dead, he murders 2 people, and you're talking to me about a candle, okay?
I need to
I've done worse
unwind
things.
at the end of the day, and so I need a nice candle.
I need a candle. It puts my wings at ease.
Right.
Every time you burn a wick of a scented candle, Amenadiel gets his wings. And you have a chance of him showing up in your home and
okay.
making sweet, sweet love to you.
well,
I'm sure
wish
a
I had
million candles will be lit.
Maybe the Million Moms Club's going to become the Million Candlelighting Club. Oh my God. So
to my
Dr.
neighborhood,
Linda
we have
shows
the
up and she's absolutely abhorrent that he's faked being a psychiatrist to get
You
access
stole
to
my
client data about Lucifer and their brothers, and she's just really like, what is this Oedipus kind of thing going on right now? And she starts talking. She's really annoyed with them. She's like, every time you come in here, I tell you, you come to some epiphany, like, oh my God, I should be a good person, and it does the exact opposite of what your epiphany states, and it just leaves me more confused and more frustrated than the last time. It's like, where's the last place Lucifer would be? And they're like, oh, that's all right. That's right. Where would he be going? It's like, no, you're not doing this. Amenadiel, let's go.
Right.
It was a very, I can't think of the show, but they have those moments a lot where it's like when the people are yelling at the other people and it gives them the idea, oh, that's what we should do, and then they leave.
Yeah.
Right.
While she's all huffy and angry. I like that she called him out on the sexual innuendo. It's like, you're putting me in a really bad position right here. And no, don't make the sexual position joke that you're about to make right now.
Yeah.
I was going to do that, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what he has. That's what he does is the sexual innuendo. So he has to throw those out.
I know.
as soon
I'm
as he
like,
can.
Dr. Linda was in heaven there. She looked like she was so
Yeah.
happy with this too.
That's her heaven. Lucifer in a minute now.
Right.
Can I just do like a little mini rant here real quick? Just
Go ahead.
for it.
Please do.
Lucifer is on Fox. Sleepy Hollow was on Fox. And within the first season of Sleepy Hollow, we must have killed off maybe 5 characters. Lucifer has killed off literally only 1 character that matters, and it's the big bad of the season.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it should be done. So when I watch this show, I'm like, this is smart because I like Linda, I like Mazikeen, I like Amenadiel, I like all these side characters that we had. Even the douche cop from the bar, like, he's still around in places, so why not? So, like, we have a world of characters that we can pull upon for predictions and for storylines in the future.
Right.
Unlike some shows that just decide, oh, let's just get the viewers interested by killing everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only people that seem to be getting killed off are the cases, the day-to-day cases.
That's a good point.
Week week-to-week cases that we have. There's always like a murder there, but those are not
You don't know
as
those
interesting as the main story.
Right,
And the
you're not
main story
emotionally invested in those characters.
yeah, is what's really drawing you into the show is that main story. So all those people are still alive and kicking.
I just thought of something amazing. What if Mom, whoever Mom is played by Betty White next season?
That would be awesome.
Oh, I love
Be
that.
great.
The best cast.
Be probably like the most entertaining thing in the world.
Yeah, it depends on what direction. I got a few ideas for the mom.
We'll get there.
So
I'm sorry.
Okay.
We got a few ideas, but casting-wise, I mean, Betty White with
Right.
Yeah,
straight
put the
black
little red
eyes.
eyes. Oh, black eyes? Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm feeling
Demon
that.
Day 22 says, don't jinx Lucifer by bringing up Sleepy Hollow. I agree, because I
Right,
quit
keep it
watching
far
after
away.
John Noble left, because that man rules.
Yeah.
Oh, John Noble from Fringe. Yeah, I wish
Yes.
they put him in this show. He's so
I
great.
know.
So,
Joe,
okay.
if you're listening.
All right, so where was I? They were at the psychiatric office. Then they decide, okay, well, let's figure out who this guy is. And they go to the police station. They're just chilling in Detective Douche's office. And they're like, all right, well, tell me what you know. What do you want? What do you want?
He does his just like that.
Just like that.
Just like that.
It's like, just
angles.
That's the only
in the
way
deep
Lucifer
game.
can really do it.
And it's a slow walking forward.
He rubs his head on whatever is nearby.
Like
That's
a
how
cat,
he
he's like,
activates his
yeah.
power. Yeah.
That's how he
He's just a
activates-
giant cat. That's
So
the big
Dan
choice.
tells him he wants to find the guy. Dan wants to be absolved and be redeemed in the eyes of Chloe and everyone. And he wants to catch Malcolm by doing that because he doesn't want someone to kill him. That's why he doesn't want to give Lucifer the location of Malcolm. But we find out that Tommy's is this old distillery. It's an old brewery. So, like, hey, let's go to Tommy's because Tommy is a guy who is a drug dealer or whatever. He deals in large sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't really go into whether it's weapons or whatever it is.
Drugs or
Yeah, and I got kind of a stash of something. but
Yeah,
we never
stash
really...
was a perfect word.
Yeah, so we cut over to Malcolm meeting with, well, meanwhile you see that Dan calls Chloe and tells Chloe there, so we know, of course, that Lucifer and Chloe are going to be in the same room again, making Lucifer vulnerable. So, they all go there, you got Amenadiel going there, you got Mazikeen going there with Chloe, then you got, sorry, wait, no. Yeah, that's right.
Amenadiel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chloe and Mazikeen show up together. Amenadiel shows up. Dan shows up. Lucifer shows up. Everybody's going to.
Everyone's a
Big
part
party,
of
whole
the party.
corral, yeah.
Come on down to Tommy's. You know, we got drugs, we got guns, we got angels, we got Satan. I mean,
Right.
Demons.
not Satan.
There is a sense
like
of this
Walmart.
episode where it's like, all right, we got to have everyone come in. Everyone has to do something a little bit. And that's what I feel like the visit to the doctor was a little bit like, all right, okay, we got her part. All right, let's move on. Everyone, we're all fighting this.
Yeah,
So,
we're all making a cameo today.
Yeah.
The one thing that I think we were missing was revisiting the guy back in the insane asylum.
Right.
Because I think that would have, like, if you end the episode with Mother's Escaped or whatever, and then it zooms in on that guy in behind the glass in the insane asylum with like symbols like drawn around his room, and then his eyes turn red.
Right.
Oh, that would have been
That'd
like
been cool.
so
Ooh,
perfect.
I actually like that.
Yeah, but that would mean that he's now mom.
Yeah,
guess.
but I love the actor, and I
Right.
think that would be a really cool way to bring somebody
Sure.
back and kind of use the same. I don't know, Joe. You watch this. You tell us what you think of bringing him
Consider
back
it.
as mom. I'm sure they just didn't want to do
Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
Joe Henderson. Look at you, showrunner. We'll call you Joe Runner. Hashtag Joe Runner.
Showrunner.
So yeah, they all head to this place. They all head to Tommy's brewery, and I like that we got some time with just Lucifer and Amenadiel before Chloe and before Dan and before Mazikeen showed up.
Yeah,
That's
they're
right. It was,
bonding a little.
yeah, it was nice to see them just kind of be badasses for a minute. It's like the gunmen show up and they're like, all right, freeze, we're gonna knock you out. And Lucifer and Bentley have their little conversation like, just don't use the wings, don't use the
Yeah, don't slow down, Ty. There's 14 of them and 2 of us, but we got this. Let's have a little
No,
fun.
man. Hashtag flex.
Yeah.
Hashtag flex. Amenadiel. Hashtag flex.
Makes me think of that song, Flex, ooh, ooh, ooh.
So they flex a bit. They flex. They flex. They walk towards the gunman. There's
That's
always
what you mean, right?
Just like that over there.
they walk towards the gunman. They get fired at. Lots of stuff happens. You know, he gets thrown. What is? Okay.
I don't know. It might just be in their headphones.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's
Keep going.
my phone in my pocket. I'm gonna take my phone out of my pocket
Okay.
because that's,
Alright.
that's definitely data that's not.
Taller now. I was slowly sinking into hell.
So yeah, one guy gets knocked away, another guy gets thrown on the ground. The last guy decides to cock his machine gun and aim at them for some reason before
Right.
he gets thrown like 100 feet away. Like,
Yeah.
come on, bro.
If you see that, just fall to the ground. Just go.
I was really missing the moment of Tommy back with Malcolm, seeing on the video cameras like what's going on and just being like, and Malcolm just being like, yeah, it's Satan, just hurry up, put the money in the bag.
Okay. We've been through. I know. It's. I'm just in a whole
Shocking, but-
supernatural world now. It just.
No, like Tommy just being like, do you see this? And Malcolm's like, yeah, it's whatever. Come on, put
Yeah.
the money in the bag.
Just don't know. You're on drugs right now. This is all drugs.
You're on drugs.
You're tripping balls. Let's just keep going.
Yeah. So they're all going in there. They beat up all the thugs and stuff, and then suddenly, finally, we get Lucifer and Amenadiel decide, hey, let's split up. Great idea to find Malcolm, right?
Sure.
Splitting up.
Two most powerful characters. All right.
So Malcolm splits up. Malcolm finds Amenadiel first and puts a knife in his stomach.
The demon knife.
The demon knife.
Hashtag anti-flex.
That's the one thing to stop a flex.
Yeah.
Is a demon knife.
I know when
We all
I'm
know
out there
that.
flexing, I get
Twisting the knife.
stabbed in the stomach. It stops the
It's
flex.
hard. It's
Yeah.
hard to keep flexing when you got internal bleeding.
But then Mazakeen Bay shows up and helps you out. And
Yeah.
you're a little bit flexing again. You're a little bit flexing again.
Gotta keep strong. She's carrying me, but I gotta make sure I'm flexing still.
I love that Lucifer just doesn't know, and he walks up. I was like, "Oh, he told you to save the punishment for me," and then he falls over. And I was like, "Oh, come on, what are you doing?" Oh, there's a knife in you. Got it.
Right.
Got it.
Got up the
He's
knife.
like, thanks for ruining my fun.
The demon knife we set up in the previous episode. Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Mazakeen shows up. She's like, "I can save him. You go get Malcolm, Lucifer." And Mazakeen's just like, Amenadiel is bae, so she's gonna stick with her man.
Yeah.
Through thick and thin, through knife and stomach,
Yeah.
For lemonade.
through
Through lemonade.
through pre-coitus sword accidents.
It's like Maze's Beyonce, and the knife was the girl Jay-Z cheated
Becky.
on with.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh,
You
I
guys
can't
are
believe this got brought up. Because
Sorry,
I'm
lemonade's
sorry, I said
happening all the
lemonade.
time.
wait, I have to add, since we're talking on this topic, I don't know how, but basically I saw a meme today, and all these haters from the Beehive are commenting on Rachel Ray instead of Rachel Roy.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
that's who the alleged
pretty
girl
funny.
is. Yeah, and on her like taco recipes, there's all these like hating comments, and it's totally the wrong girl. Like, oh, you're taking 30 minutes away from.
A little bit off
cooking.
topic.
Yeah,
All right,
we're
this
going
is
there,
the
but it's
lemonade.
pretty funny. It's
This is
pretty
the
funny.
lemonade after show. That's a different
I
after
was
show
gonna make
entirely.
isn't it ironic song reference being like it's like May's with your demon bae.
Oh, yeah.
See, we're in 2016. We're referencing the hottest new Beyonce track. You're
Over there,
way back.
Alanis.
I'm back
Like
with Alanis
99?
Morissette.
Alanis
99?
Morissette played God.
Yeah.
So
I'm
it's
so
close.
2008.
That's true.
Yeah.
You're so 2000 and late.
Oh.
This is the worst after show ever, guys. No, I'm
I'm
totally
gonna
kidding.
demon
No, it's
knife
relevant. It's very
you.
relevant.
Oh man.
You won't be flexing. Stop flexing your 2008
God.
skills. All right.
So they split up again. Like it's like, oh, let's split up. You get stabbed. Okay, let's split up again.
Yeah.
Then it's
Right.
like Scooby Doo. Let's split up. You go that way.
Right.
Me and Fred will go this way. Giggity giggity.
I'm surprised they didn't rip the mask off Malcolm and been like, oh my god, it was Detective Douche.
It was
the whole
Old
time."
Man Peters down at the carnival.
Let me take a little like step back. I really loved how Chloe, the actress who plays Chloe, played the part of the phone call with Malcolm. When Trixie's on the line and she does that and she completely kind of breaks down. Solid acting chops on
Yeah.
that. That was really well done, and you never see Chloe break.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that like the one thing that can put her over the edge, like emotionally, where she kind of loses her cool a bit and loses kind of her logic, is Trixie.
Yeah.
So I think we'll see that coming into play in the next season as well, but it's just kind of cool.
Yeah, especially since there might be a heavy mom theme in the next season. So
Oh, yeah.
her mom instincts
Heavy
might
mom
happen.
theme. You making fat jokes right now, Dave?
No, you know what? I'm not. I'm talking about, I don't know.
Just because
this
the million
season was
moms don't
daddy
like this
issues.
show, you have to make fun.
Yeah.
No, it's just heavy moms are great moms. I appreciate moms that are heavy. I'm digging a hole, and I'm going to keep on digging.
Do you
Second
think?
show this week,
Do you think it's like a play that like the million moms hate this show, and now we're making the big baddie of next season their mom?
The mom?
Yeah, I think they totally planned that.
What if it's some sort of hive creature that's made up of a million entities?
Million moms.
So it's the million mom that they
Trying
must
to
find
take down
and destroy.
Lucifer.
It's loose and trying to take down Lucifer. I wonder if that's where it started, actually.
Dude, I'm totally thinking of Futurama mom now.
Oh yeah.
Right, yeah.
So
that would be badass.
Chloe basically does exactly what Detective Dan Douche does,
Uh-huh.
and is like, I'm gonna go into evidence and take this gigantic bag of money to get my daughter back. Well, apparently you can buy kids for $100,000, just so you know.
I can get them for less than that.
But only if you've already like raised them to a certain age, and otherwise it costs more.
Right.
So she's leaving and passes Lucifer on the way out, and then when she's getting in the car with the bag of money she just stole, over the loudspeaker it's like, put your hands up and your hand on, it's like the most American accent cop, like,
Yeah.
now pull out and put your gun on the side and tell me, why are you leaving without me? Come on, Chloe Decker. And she's like, God damn it, Lucifer.
Yeah.
You can't just get in loudspeakers and say things.
Hamburgers and Trump. That's just
Is that your Joe Swanson from Family Guy?
Yeah, that's my bad American accent I'm trying to do. I don't know.
You have an American accent,
I
Dave.
do, but I'm seeing what the bet. Okay, I'm gonna stick with my heavy moms.
Stick with those heavy
Let's just move on.
All right. So, meanwhile, back at the fortress of Tommy's Brewery. Well, we got the whole showdown between Chloe and Malcolm, because obviously Chloe went alone. Actually, no. Sorry. I skipped ahead.
She wanted to go alone.
This is
right?
where I skipped ahead. Lucifer and Chloe meet up. That's where at Tommy's.
Right.
That's where she's like, "This money, I believed you from the beginning, Lucifer." Blah 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 blah. Then we get the phone call, and then it's Lucifer has to go alone.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, Amenadiel is stabbed. Sorry, I'm mixing up the
Feather.
two.
Yeah, I was gonna say, have we gotten to the feather yet?
Yeah, I was mixing up the two blue-colored warehouses that they had. One
Right.
was a hangar, and one was a blue-colored warehouse.
And then
How do you
one
give
was
us
also
any?
hell, so there was like three.
So Malcolm escapes. We get the scene with his wife firing at Chloe
Yeah.
because he's been spending all the money because he's got the hunger. He's got that thirst. Malcolm be thirsty AF.
Oh, yeah.
He thirsty for bae. But not his wife.
It's like you only know the word "bay" to keep with the modern kids. Everything else is like Alanis Morissette, ironic, and then you throw a "bay" in there to be like, "No, I'm still with it."
I can't wait.
I'm still hip.
I can't wait for you to
My
say
knowledge
on
base is on fleek, Dave
Oh,
Child.
you did
Oh,
it.
there's a fleek.
Okay.
There's a fleek.
All right.
It's getting fleek in here.
That's not the right way to say it.
So,
Man, isn't it fleek in
Yeah.
here?
Ugh.
a little bit too fleek. So we get the phone call with Trixie and everything. Come alone. This is not a trope. This is actually definitely a trope.
Yeah.
Come alone. Meanwhile, Amenadiel's stabbed. Mazakine's taking care of him, and Chloe goes to the car and brings her car into the hangar alone with no one, and is like, "You give me my daughter. Give me my daughter."
Just in the Batman voice.
It was like that. It was like more like the Harrison.
My daughter.
It was the
That's my
Harrison
Chloe
Ford
impression.
of like, "I need my daughter back."
My daughter.
There's a really funny video out there from College Humor that's like, Agent Smith has too many daughters. It's really, really funny. But she goes to get her daughter back.
Okay.
He gives her daughter back, and then she's like, "You want to play a game? Would you like to play a game? Go hide really, really well and watch from afar while your mother probably gets shot."
Yeah.
This is a fun game, isn't it? Isn't it,
Yeah.
Trixie?
She's like,
You're
I
not
don't
gonna
want to
get-
play.
She's like, go.
I mean, at that point, she's like, well, Trixie's going to need a lot of therapy in the future, so...
We know Dr.
Good thing Dr. Linda.
Yeah, good thing we're close.
Unfortunately,
Where's one?
Trixie can't pay the same way Lucifer is.
Oh.
A lowbrow humor. Oh, that was a little too bad. So
Son, that's too... That bay is a baby.
Trixie runs away. Trixie runs away and hides. Hopefully, I'm glad that we didn't get some dumb scene of Trixie coming out of the woodwork again and having another hostage situation. And right when he's about to shoot Chloe because she's like, "You don't have to do this." He's like, "Yeah, but I want to." God, the actor from Malcolm is so good. He was such a great villain when he's walking around.
I'm gonna actually miss him a lot.
I know Malcolm was my favorite character by the end.
He could be brought back though.
Yeah, he could be. He's just in hell.
He only got
now.
shot and killed.
And he's only in hell, and apparently people can't escape hell, so.
Yeah. So then Lucifer shows up with a nice spotlight in the hangar. He's like, "Hey, why don't you not kill Chloe? I'm going to ask you what you want. You want to kill me?"
It's just like that.
Exactly how I thought.
That's pretty much the scene.
Right, okay, yeah.
Pretty much the scene.
This is the musical version.
Yeah.
I remember it a little differently, but okay.
No, that's the scene. That's the scene.
Okay, cool.
You obviously are not remembering it correctly.
Oh, okay, I'm just not remembering.
There was a snapping, the little shindig song, and everything.
A little hat tip.
And then, he had the cane, little white-tipped cane.
Okay, I remember
It's
now.
coming back.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So he gets shot.
Yeah.
Obviously, because when you walk up to somebody who... I liked how they played that off, though, and that, like... Because it's the mission Amenadiel gave him from coming back to life, it was so ingrained into him that it's something he wanted to do. And so it's like, "Oh, you'd like to live more than anything." Well, everything except one thing. And then he shoots him, and he says, like, "I want to kill you more than anything and make you experience hell the way I experienced hell." Evil laugh. So yeah, I really liked this character development with Malcolm. If you take this character from being in a hospital bed and being the cause of everything with Chloe to where they brought him, very good writing. To be perfectly honest, like to go from having a character who's not even in the picture, who's only part of a huge storyline that happened to a main character, to developing that storyline, to bringing him back, to developing him to the point that he's an assassin. Then he turns into having his own wants and feelings, into being the big bad of the season. I thought it was really smart the way they wrote for this character.
It also because a lot of the show seems like it's either on the cop side or the supernatural Lucifer side. And with Malcolm, they were able to bridge that really, really well, because it started off, like you said, with like on heavily into the cop side, and then moved into that supernatural, but in a way that made sense.
Like subtly. Because you can't have a whole series with a guy saying he's Lucifer, saying he's the devil, doing things that basically out him as the devil, and not have anyone know that he's really the devil.
And also a series about someone who should be in hell and isn't in hell, and not have some sort of passage in between hell and Earth.
Yeah.
So you needed to have something there, and this was a good way of segueing into, I think, more passages between like hell and Earth.
What did you guys think of the portrayal of hell? How they pictured it?
Yeah, I actually expected it to be... I was surprised when he said ash, because I was hoping they were going for the Dante's Inferno hell, which is all about...
The layers.
Yeah, the layers, and also ice. As you get farther down into hell, the
icier, right?
Yeah, it gets colder and colder, and it's about motion. It's actually like kinetic motion. People can't move the deeper into hell you are until you're at the lowest rung, which is Satan with 3 heads, getting stuck in a lake of ice, and he's chewing on Judas and Brutus and Cassius, I think, because Dante really likes Caesar. So he's chewing on all the traitors in the middle of hell.
So traitors is the worst of the worst.
Yeah, it's like the worst of the worst are people that betray who they love and trust, which is what the big Lucifer Morningstar sin is. He went against hell and went against his father, and that's how he fell in the first place.
And if you don't want to fall, you should go ahead and give us a rating on iTunes, because we're gone for this season, but we'll be back for the next. I want to give a shout out to Todd H73, who says, "Great hosts. Really enjoy the opinions of the hosts. My son, every weekend that my son comes over, he asks if there's a new episode, then I get to tell him about your guys' thoughts. Also, keep up the great work."
That's great.
Thank you.
I love that one.
And then helping fathers.
Also, if you're watching on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up right now. We got 68 people in live chat.
69
so that's pretty
now. Now it's starting.
You had to make it 39. Post-coitus swordplay. God dang it. Your book is just selling thousands, Dave.
Boom, boom, stab, stab, stab.
I think there's still a possibility for them to go with Dante's Inferno version with different places for different things.
Yeah, I think so,
because
too.
if you really think about it, if Lucifer went to the place where his mom would have been, maybe angels and demons go to a certain specific spot in hell when they die, and that would have been where it was, and that's why he knew his mom wasn't there, because the place where angels go, his mom's not there.
Right.
So are people he's related to. I don't know. So that's one thing to think about.
I do want to talk about the mom a little bit. The first thing I thought of...
We're not there yet, Dave.
Okay, never mind.
We're gonna have a whole momversation,
All right,
okay?
all right.
The momversation is coming.
I'll keep mum then.
Mom's the word.
Really quick, before we finish up Lucifer's storyline, we do get Amenadiel and Mazikeen. Only a divine thing will save Amenadiel, and she uses the divine power of the feather to save Amenadiel's life.
Now, was that... I couldn't tell. Was that it for the feather? Or do they still have the feather around?
Right. Is it a multiple use or like a one-time deal?
And why can't you just take one of Amenadiel's feathers and use it?
Yeah.
Right.
But anyway, so it saves him, but it knocks him out. And that's a very big plot point, is that he like gets knocked out by the divine power a little bit. Like he's over encumbered, so when Lucifer finds him later, he's like waking up.
And what do you think happened to Maze? She was all in there in the room. Do you think it has any after effects to her?
I think Maze needs some come to Jesus moments, because she just saved Amenadiel, which she loves, but then like she's also kind of guilt stricken because hashtag demon come to Jesus moment.
Well, I'm thinking she has to deal with the fact, like, who is she following? She's always been, under Lucifer, following Lucifer because he's the worst. He's the worst of the worst. But now there's someone who might be worse than the worst of the worst. The worstest.
Say that 5 times fast.
The worstest.
You're making me want German food.
Yeah, I mean, we all want Worcestershire sauce right now. But, so I'm wondering if in the next season, Maze could end up going to this dark side, mom side.
That's an interesting thought, because she might have been the servant of his mom before him.
Yeah.
Because if he was if his mom was the first Satan, possibly.
Yeah. Well,
we'll see. We'll get into that.
Okay.
So, Lucifer gets shot, and for the first time in the entire series, he willingly asks his father for a favor. And as he's dying, because Malcolm has the coin, and Malcolm has the one way you can get out of hell, Lucifer asks God just to save Chloe Decker. Just give him a way to save Chloe Decker. So he's sent to hell. He's back in hell, realizes that the door to hell is wide open and broken through, and he's like, somebody escaped hell. And then he walks through, and he's back in his body, stands up, good as new, except for the hole in his stomach where it's just bleeding, but he's fine. It's cool. You know, we've all had those days after running a marathon or something. That's what it feels like anyway.
How do you run marathons?
It's the worst.
Do you run into a pole right at the end? Just right through your stomach?
No, it just feels like that when you get those cramps.
Oh, okay.
It just feels like you got shot in the stomach.
I know that from all the marathons I run as well.
I know.
I run a lot.
Hashtag post-coitus starlight.
Yes. After a good post-coitus sword play.
Hashtag heavy moms. Hashtag Dave Child runs
I run
a lot.
with my heavy moms. It's a heavy mom run.
It's like
in support
Atlas.
for
You
heavy
carry
moms.
them over. Like Atlas.
Yeah, and with them, it's the heavy mom run.
Okay, so Lucifer walks up to punish Malcolm because he's like, "Oh, you mean that token? You mean the one I have in my hand that decides to, when I throw it towards you, it turns in Chris Angel, mind free."
I was thinking like he becomes Job at the end there. Like,
It's like,
But
how did it get into my hand?
Cheez-Its.
Right.
So I liked how they did. Like the first time he sees the coin, it like goes like this, and this time it's like, no, and he's dead because Chloe shot him 4
And then
times.
he pulled down the little
It's like,
Yeah, I thought that was gonna be. He's just gonna like run his hand down the plastic a bit longer.
it's like you see Chloe off to the side with a balloon in her hand, just like rubbing the balloon.
It's like the new Pee Wee movie.
It's like
a fantastic scene in the new Pee Wee movie that's worth the entire Pee Wee movie.
All right, we gotta.
Okay, with a balloon. Just watch it.
Malcolm is the most dastardly villain that even in death he creates the most annoying sound possible.
Yeah. Before I leave, listen to this.
Okay, so he's dead, and Chloe walks up to him and is like freaked out. Of course, Trixie's fine, Chloe's fine, everybody's fine, it's great. And then we see Lucifer meeting with Amenadiel, and Amenadiel's like, I'm back to normal. And Lucifer's like, yes, but somebody escaped from hell. And Amena's like, yeah, some chump change soul got through here. How much could it be? Wait, you're afraid. You're not afraid of anything. Yeah, I'm deathly afraid. Why? It was Mother. Bum, bum, bum. It was Mom. That's not the one.
That's not the one.
There you go.
There.
Okay, so the first thing I thought of...
Your mother's coming to visit, Lucifer. You best prepare your drawers and make sure everything's clean.
Stop. The first thing I thought of...
Steven is Jewish. I just said that.
when they said mom was actually like... Because this is based off of the Sandman series, and the that's where Lucifer comes from. And recently in Sandman, they introduced Sandman and the Endless's parents, which is weird because they were immortal creatures themselves. But those characters are, I believe I'm getting this right, tried to look this up, but I couldn't find it. I think it's Day and Night was like a personification of day and night, was the father and the mother. So in a way, the mom is darkness,
Right.
and God will probably be the light, but that's a lot like Supernatural. So I feel like they won't do that because that's already being done in Supernatural right now. Because right now in Supernatural, they're fighting the darkness, which is the sister of God.
And
not
her.
the and that, so I don't think they're going to follow that same storyline. So I'm not quite positive who it is. It could be Lilith. It could be
Eve. I was reading some
Eve
places.
would be a weird choice because Eve is supposed to still be like created by God.
Right.
So, and not the mom of angels. So it is a strange. It is.
I feel more Lilith would be the.
Yeah.
Well, Lucifer is a fallen angel. He's not a demon. So I'm going to have to say that it's probably...
Yeah, but is it another angel? Because that's odd too. Because that's so it would.
If she's an angel, why would they be afraid though?
Yeah, the only thing I could think of is that it's a personification of nothing or darkness or the something that comes before creation itself or death.
Right.
Maybe death is loose and they're going to deal with that. But it's an odd choice to make because there's not quite a mythos that links it. That I know of, where
it's an obvious.
Yeah, because God
Lilith is the closest one, but
Eve
being responsible for original sin, I think, is where people are getting. But to me, she was derived from Adam's rib.
Right. Where does Lilith come from? That's daughter of.
Yeah, Lilith, I know, is a lot used in vampire mythology, and is sort
True
of
Blood,
like,
I know.
I mean, even before True Blood, like Lilith was like, more like the mother of like vampires and evil. So that's why, because I'm trying to remember the original concept of her, but
the basic idea is there was God, and then there was nothing, and then God created the angels, and then Earth, and then the people. So there hasn't been a mom unless mom is an aspect of God in itself, but maybe a dark aspect of God. I don't know.
Who was the woman before Eve? Wasn't there a woman before Eve?
It was Adam. It was Adam's rib that created Eve.
But there was another woman. If anybody knows, please.
In Genesis, Eve is the first female human.
Maybe there's one after that was potentially
Lilith is. I think that's Lilith.
There we go.
Lilith is like a second. Kind of comes in. I forget how.
I think it's Lilith or Ashera.
Lilith is Adam's first
Who's
wife.
Ashera?
Oh, I was thinking that.
Yeah, not in the Christian. It's not in the Christian Bible.
Ashera in the I think it's in the Hebrew faith is the wife of God.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's she's never viewed in a negative light from what I've read. So it's not
that would
like
be interesting though.
So the
Chloe better not be
I know.
silky.
I just laughed at
RJ
that.
Martinez.
That was good.
She's a fairy.
Yeah, no one wants Chloe to turn out to be a fairy because that's just like
I'm a freaking
entering
fairy.
in a whole new world.
I mean, you realize this opens up a new wave of predictions.
Yeah, I mean, I think that
We're about to wrap up, but yeah.
Right. I think we're going to get mom creating kind of more supernatural baddies. So they're going to face more supernatural baddies, and I think still solve the occasional real life murder mystery. But I think they're gonna try and trace all the murder stuff the cases that they do to more supernatural causes.
I mean, you could look at if you want to look biologically, right?
Okay.
So
is it a bird?
God
Big bird?
made us in His image, right?
Yes.
So the human part's definitely going to be God.
So
the
it's just the
wings
wings?
part's probably going to be the mother. So
Right.
she's just a bird.
She's
Big Bird.
Some bird, just big bird.
But no, technically
That would be
it could be like the phoenix. If you're gonna say something like, you could get into other mythos to say like mother, because mother could just be a
Right.
title. It might not be who.
Mother Earth is another aspect of, but that's
If angels,
not in hell.
if angels are created, who brings them up is another question. Like, do they appear and just happen to have cognizance and know everything, or
Right.
are they baby angels and then they get their wings and become brought up by a god or reared by a mother? I don't know. I think it's an interesting turn to take for the show. I mean, the obvious guess is that Chloe is related to the mother, and the only reason the mother could get out is because of Chloe for some reason. But I think it's more obvious, more likely that because Amenadiel was out from his injury, he couldn't watch the gates of hell, and that's why it got out. But I think what would be really cool is use Chloe as more of a linchpin, that if Lucifer's powers can't be used around Chloe, the only way to capture Mother would be to bring Chloe near her. So then you have this whole aspect of Chloe doesn't really believe yet that he's Lucifer, but now as she's being brought closer and closer into these supernatural occurrences, because they need to use her to fight against them, she may come to more and more of a realization.
Yeah.
So I think that's where season 2 will. I think by the end of season 2 we might actually have Chloe realizing there's greater things at stake.
I think definitely by the end of season 2 we're going to find out what's up with Chloe. I don't think it'll go past that because I mean,
then
just
once
after
we
a
know,
while.
they can play with that too. So
Yeah.
And I still see Amenadiel and Dan having some similar things. We didn't talk about this, but Dan gave himself up to let Lucifer go by saying that he's the one who took the gun out of evidence, and the gun is the one that was used to kill the preacher. And that's the only time where Lucifer actually says Detective Sarasota or whatever.
Espinosa.
And he's like, oh, no more Detective Douche. It's like, not today, which was classy and stuff. But I think Amenadiel knows that he's done wrong and doesn't know how to redeem himself. Dan wants to redeem himself, so I think we can see a lot of character development between those two characters next season. I think we're going to get a lot more Trixie next season. I hope they don't have to do a recast. It'd be great to get the same actress.
Yeah.
She's adorable.
And I would love to see Mazikeen be beholden to Mom instead of Lucifer as the rightful king of hell or queen of hell.
Yeah. Inside Woman, I think we're going to get.
So I think that's our season, guys. We're going to try to book Joe Runner for call an interview. They're back in the writer's room right now doing season 2. So tweet your ideas to him. I mean, he's not going to take them, but I mean, just tweet your support of the show and how you're going to be watching, what you thought of finale to those guys. Tweet at the writers because they enjoy hearing that you support the show.
Yep.
And tweet us questions that we could ask him, because we're going to try to set up something like a post-season interview to talk to him about it. But in the meanwhile, if you want to tweet at us, where can we tweet you, Mr. Dave Child?
You can tweet me at MrDaveChild.
And Miss Lacretia Lyon.
You can tweet me at LACRETIALYON.
And Samantha Benitz.
Me at Samantha_Benitz, BENITZ.
And guys, you can tweet me at Stephen Lemieux, STPHENLEMIUX. I'm trying to figure out what show I'm doing next. I don't have any shows right now. They're all finished now.
I have a still doing Legends of Tomorrow with this one, and on Thursdays. So check us out on Thursdays.
And you can see us next season for the Lucifer After Show for season 2, episode 1, entitled, I don't know, probably Mom, if I can guess anything. We'll see you guys then. Thanks for tuning in all season. We really appreciate the support, and go ahead and follow us on Twitter to follow what we're doing. Until next time, we're definitely going to be watching Preacher, though, so definitely hit us up about that. Take care, guys. We'll see you next season.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
And Malcolm's dead.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.